Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, my friends, twin flames, twin flames, twin flames, brothers and sisters, twin flames. Peace be upon you, peace be upon you, peace be upon you. Today I want to touch very, very, very touchy and important topic that concerns most likely 99.9% of twin flames. Whether you are or not aware of that, myself didn't want to admit that to myself, that until now, I guess, until now, that the great reason why your twin flame continues running after the initial phase of running, which is normal, because if they felt what you felt, that enormous pool of energy and magnetism, that is a twin flame magnetism, that is so powerful and overwhelming and scary. If you read the comments in any of the twin flame videos, people who just ran into their twin, or when they describe the time when they did run into their twin, the recognition phase, when they recognize their twin, whether they knew what the term meant, whether they ever heard about the concept of twin flames or never heard about it. But we all know when we recognize our twin, and when it goes like whoosh, and that feeling and that energy is so overwhelming, it's so overpowering, that people, I mean, we got scared too, like the chaser. I mean, I don't like the term chaser because I never really chased my twin. The reason is my ego. I didn't want to, humiliate myself to that point, to kind of like, uh, what could I say, like hit on him, or like, what should I do? Beg him to be my partner or something? No, I never even expressed. I never told him, oh, I love you, or you're my twin flame. Nothing like that. So I don't want to be called chaser. I mean, I know it's a term and I don't mind it, but I don't like to use it. I'd rather call myself a waiting twin, the twin that is in the waiting, rather than, and he's the runner. Although we did switch the roles, there was times when he did try to reach me out, but I got scared because we switched the roles, which is part of the twin flame dynamics. But again, uh, we can understand our twin, from the point of that overpowering thing that is very similar to fear, and it is kind of mixed with fear. So because of it's like fear of the unknown, because basically we don't know what, maybe why you became the whatever you call yourself, chaser or a waiting twin. Maybe you became the awakened one simply because you went home and googled it, maybe because you went to library and researched it, maybe because you had a really good friend you confined in, and they told you, well, I think that's your twin. you know Whatever way you found out, or universe sent you an article in the newspapers that you ran the same week that happened to you, and then you were like, whoa, that's, oh my god, that sounds like I have a twin. So whatever it was, maybe you're just the first lucky one to find out. What if your twin didn't get that information? They have to awaken through you. So anyways, it's normal that they had that like initial phase of running, but after that, most of them had, I'm going to go straight forward, like, because the picture already came in anyways. I can see in this montage in KineMaster, the picture came in already, that shows black magic, the voodoo, and it's called sihr in Islam, witchcraft. Most of the twin flames, the runners, are under witchcraft by someone who wants you away from their life, by someone who misunderstood that pull and push between you and your twin, as usually they saw you as they think basically they're on witch hunt on you. They think you're the witch. Maybe they think that you did black magic on your twin. They don't have any other way of explanation of why is this, because they know this is usually their family member. I'm gonna say straightforward, usually their mothers or sisters or female members of the family, usually, because females are more prone to doubt, or think that, and look at the things in different perspectives. So imagine if your son comes home and he's shook up and he's acting weird for weeks or months or years, and it's always when they run into you, they are so different. And then what if their family members think about this as something weird, something that has to be removed from their son, that you have to be removed from their son or their sibling or their husband. I believe the karmic partners that we all talk about, that create such a blockage and such an issue for the twin flames to reunite, most likely are byproduct of that witchcraft. Here's how. When someone puts a black magic or some kind of I believe mostly it's a separation spell to separate you from your twin. So they just make things even harder for us. Maybe we would have reunited a long time ago because the initial phase of running was over and they realized who you were and they recognized you, and they maybe didn't know the term twin flames, or maybe they did, whatever, but they know you're that special one for them. They know you're their other half. Sometimes they know before you know, because maybe what they feel is even stronger than how you feel the pull. Maybe they feel it even better and stronger, so that's why they ran in the beginning. But then they would, I always remember what I said about my twin flame in the initial phase. I said, he's gonna come around. He's gonna come around. This was the first thing that came to my mind, and he would have come around, and he did come around after a while. But then his mother stepped in. She stepped in. I remember specifically when she came into the same prayer place, the same mosque where I prayed, and she never visited the mosque before. And I'm a praying person, and I believe in God, and I am a person of light. But she came in the mosque and she put 4 or 5 of her friends, some women, behind me, and she gave them some beads, and they were chanting something which I know is not part of my religion. It's not a part of my religion. And as I told my mom, because my mom was in the mosque that night and she saw what they were doing, and I told mom, I was nearby and she knows me. If this was some kind of, maybe sometimes they do beads, they read on the beads for the for the departed, for the dearly departed. If this was the case, she would have, why she didn't give me some beads to be part of that, whatever, because they're from Indian subcontinent, so maybe sometimes they have traces of Hinduism brought into Islam, which is not part of Islam. It's not a pure Islam. But I mean, I understand there's different traditions mixed in, and sometimes people still do things that they shouldn't be doing in Islam, but they still do it. So if this was some kind of local tradition, I was there. She should have included me, why? But actually, they sat right behind me and they did chant and they did this, and I was really uncomfortable. This was actually during Ramadan, and this is not something normally done during the holy month of Ramadan. I've never seen any Muslim before or after this group of ladies do that. After that, my twin stopped coming to the mosque. And mind I say that he did start coming to the mosque after he realized, because he was just, the way we met was in his store where he was owner and customer service. And so I would visit his store and shop there, and that's how we got to know each other. But he knew that I was always coming on Friday after the prayers to the store to shop. And so he started coming to the mosque to the prayers, because once I asked him, aren't you, I know you're Muslim, so why are you not, I never see you on Friday sermon. And he told me that his parents told him it's okay that they pray in their store. And I said, it's okay for the regular prayers, but for Friday is a congregational prayer, so you should do this as in congregation, you know, there's special reason and special benefit of that group prayer. So you cannot do group prayer in the back of your store. That's not the group prayer. And I meant that in the, you know, in the most honest way, not because he was my twin, but I would tell that to any of my Muslim brothers or sisters. I would give them the same advice. So it was just honest. And then after that, he took my advice and he started coming. And I know my twin. I know he's my other half, and I know that his initial intention was not because of me. His initial intention was for the things that I told him, to make it right, to do the right thing. But he would wait after the prayer just to see me. That was another, you know, benefit of coming, that we would make these short kind of, you know, short interactions after the prayer. But I know that was not his initial reason for come. I know he came for God. And then to fast forward, after 2 years of him like constantly coming and seeing me every Friday, this became, in the meantime, I got mad at him and I stopped going to his store for one of the things he just, I know now, if I look back, maybe it's a mistake, but it wasn't. It's part of the twin flame journey. We all had to grow. So he continued coming until his mother showed up suddenly in the mosque, and she was never a mosque going woman. She's very business oriented woman. She does pray, I know that, but so I told my mom, I think she came to do some kind of ritual on me, to push me away from her son, and it's not going to work, because this is the love that comes from God. This is not the love that I initiated. I never would, you know, put any magic on anyone, like a love spell, because I want to be loved for real. So I mean, but maybe his mother thinks that I put a spell on him, so she wants to come and do something, and by doing that, she's gonna make the spell on either of us. And it seemed like after that, he stopped coming to the mosque. He changed, and he started being different, and he started being womanizer. And I know it's also subconscious. He rebelled against his family, because there was time a little bit after that when he struggled, when he was going to propose to me, and then they discouraged him, and the community discouraged him. He had some questions that were answered in a wrong way to him, and then he also rebelled against his family and everyone, because they thought that I was not good enough for him. And then he kind of pushed himself towards being a bad boy, to kind of tell them, you know, I'm going to be bad as well. So then what you going to do about it? He broke up. They had him engaged for arranged marriage. He broke up the engagement, and that made them really mad with him, because he kind of embarrassed the family with that other family that, you know, they promised him to. It's kind of mixed up. By the way, again, I'm going to say, for those who are not Muslim and for those who are Muslim, that it's not Islamic to arrange marriage. It's Islamic to support your daughter or son to get married, so they wouldn't live in the sin. That's what the Quran says. When they're ready, help them, support them, marry them, give them in the marriage. But it never says in the Quran, be a matchmaker, find someone and God forbid, force them to marry or arrange something for them, because God is the ultimate matchmaker, not human, not any human. If you do that and you're Muslim, then you're committing shirk, which means idolatry. And that arrangement and arranged marriage concept comes from Hinduism, which is part, again, of Indian subcontinent, which contains countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Burma, and part of Asia also, because there's a lot of areas there that is under that was the Hinduism religion until Islam came. So they still have the same tradition. They keep the same tradition, and now they're making it part of Islam, but it's not. It's not. The fact is, it's not. Islam lets you choose your own spouse, and your parents should be asked, and they should be consulted, of course, and they should give you their blessing, just like Christians do, you know. But no. So, anyways, he broke up that arranged thing, and he rebelled, and he turned also against all of us. He turned away from everyone. He became a rebel, but he also became a womanizer. And I see that now as part of that spell, of that separation spell that was put on sort of between us, so that when he was in the time of turning around, in the phase of turning around, coming back to me, because I know, I mean, I'm not going to go into details right now, but there was so many things that, well, he did try, and they not only discouraged him with verbally, but then this kind of weird ritual happened with his mom, and then he was discouraged, and then he just started stopping coming to the mosque more and more and more and more. Then I heard things about him. Then he started doing some fishy businesses that I would never imagine him do. He just, I mean, it's not normal for a person to change so much so fast. And I still see him as the same. He's still my twin flame, but he's went so far. And then brings me to the next point, which is why I believe God sent his energy into my manifested twin. Because if someone sells their soul to the devil, let's just say it that way, if someone sells their soul to the devil, they have no more, I mean, they kind of leave, their soul leaves their body, basically. Their essence leaves their body, because they're doing things that they don't want to be doing, but they're just out of their own mind and out of their own soul. Then it is quite possible, because God can do anything, and the source and universe can rearrange things and send that essence, that twin flame soul, into a different, like, embodiment, into a different body, and channel through that body the essence of your twin flame. And that's what I call manifested twin. The someone, as a matter of fact, also I manifested by being ready for the reunion, because while he was going further and further and further away from, not from me only, but from himself, my organic twin, at the same time, I was building and building stronger spiritual strength. I was working on my chakras. I was working on manifestation skills and affirmations and whatnot. And even these videos I started making, and so many things that I've improved, that I'm so ready for the reunion. And he's not even ready to be his old self anymore. So I see that he was a victim of something weird included in our journey. Then, to make things more, maybe worse, I don't know, or maybe just it helps me to decipher things now. Now my manifested twin is being attacked by witchcraft. This time it's worse. It's worse than what my organic twin's mom did, because now it's like a real bad type of black magic. And again, my manifested twin is from Bangladesh, and I can see obviously that Indian subcontinent, it's really, there's a lot of black magic still going on down there. I mean, there's Egyptian black magic, there's African black magic. It's going on in Europe. I know I had experience with black magic before I met my organic twin, with my karmic, with my first husband. But usually what people don't want to talk about is that it's usually the mothers of the sons that put the separation spell. They will do anything to put the separation spell between them and their beloved and their twin flame. And this was not just now, but I think that was happening back in the history before. And even if we, whether you're Muslim or not, whether you believe in previous lives or not, let's say that there is previous life. Let's just take that concept as possibility. that we were almost reunited in the previous life, but we were separated by same thing, black magic. And what's going on now, I'm going to tell you directly what's going on with my manifested twin. The lot of fights that we are experiencing and purging that we are going through are going on since he went to certain woman's house that is friend of his mom and his sister, and he ate there, and then he would get better and then he would get worse again. And I was recognize he was almost acting, sometimes he was drunk, and he doesn't drink, he's a religious person. So then I told you about that in my previous videos. I spoke about it, and then I told you about his sister and mom. And what was weird, what recently I discovered, is I asked him for his mother photo and his family, like a family photo, and his mother started refusing to have him take her photo and send it to me. And I was offended, because if she wants me, if, as he says, that I think she's pretending, because she never wanted to talk on the phone, and his father is really nice, he wants to talk to me, and I really like the energy of his father. I feel that her energy is not right, and I think she's pretending to my manifested twin that she supports his decision to be with me. I think she's just playing that way so that he wouldn't suspect her, but she's doing something really sinister and evil on a side to him. And so she refused to take photo for me, and my mother wanted to see what she looks like, what would her in-laws look like, it's a normal thing to want to see them, especially because they're long distance and they live very far away. And if I would go to live in that country, my mom would want to know who are these people, what they look like. And she refused. And I just, like 2 days ago, I just was watching a video which was talking about, because of what happened in the meantime, I'll tell you about it. And I was watching a video which talks about how to remove the spell, how to destroy the spell, or send it back to the person who made it to you. And it said something about photo, that you need a photo of that person. I'm like, oh my God. Then she thinks, she knows that she did something, so she's afraid now that I would see her and have her photo and I could send her spell back to her, And so I'm going to tell you now it's really sad. This is really sad, and I don't know how strong I'm keeping so strong. I don't know, my faith in God is getting stronger by day. With the more challenges, I'm getting stronger, I guess. Ever since the beginning of our engagement, which was in May 2017, my twin flame, every time he visited his hometown, he would wake up in the morning, call me, and let me hear the rooster, because I live in the city in America and I cannot hear the rooster here. So I love those birds. I love, especially as a Muslim, I think, because I wake up for the early prayer called Fajr, for the dawn prayer. And I told him, I believe these roosters are like imams, like the muezzin on the mosque. They really know, God gives them this, animals have this instinct to wake up and wake everyone for the new day and for the new dawn, and in our case as Muslims, for the new prayer, So I was talking to my twin. I said, I love that rooster that, that sings to you every morning. You're so lucky that you can go visit your parents in the village. By the way, every time he goes visits his parents, he goes crazy. I have so many problems with him. He makes me cry on the phone. He cannot recognize me, or I cannot recognize basically him, the way he behaves. He's struggling so hard. I know it's hard for him. And anyways, I told him, I asked him, does the rooster have a name? And he said no. And then we named him. I'm not going to say what name it was, but we named the rooster. And he eventually told his mother that he started calling rooster by the name every time he would visit. And the rooster didn't have a name before. So his mother asked him, why you call him that name? And he said, Jenna, my fiance, she gave him that name, right? So long story short, my manifested twin flame told me just 5 days ago that his rooster and all the chickens in the coop had mysteriously died. At first, I because I've studied veterinary medicine. I tried to ask him, was it the feed? Was it the water? Was it the fox? Did fox get in the in their yard, or this and that? We went through every single scenario, and bottom line is his mother woke up in the morning and mysteriously she's the one who found all chickens, including the my favorite rooster, strangled mysteriously. Nobody could get into their yard. The feed is fine, so they didn't choke on the bad food. They weren't poisoned. Um, just killed by who? By who? And nobody lives there but his mother and his father, and his father wasn't home. And I cannot tell my twin, your mother did this, but I know I've heard before, I read in some articles and so on YouTube that people with many times for black magic they will use chickens, as sacrifice to the devil, to the dark force, to use that dark force, to invoke the dark force, to give them a sacrifice so they would do them favors and put put separation between the beloveds. And so, and plus it was something that I loved. It was animal that I loved, that I always told my manifesting, I can't wait to come visit you and so I can meet him, the the rooster. He sent me photos of the rooster. So it's, I mean, that's why I told you guys it's really sad, but I'm keeping strong. I'm strong because, well, it's really sad. And it also made me like discouraged to say, I'll stay away from this person because now the and innocent animals are suffering. But why? I mean, now even more I want to stay with him because if she killed the poor chicken and she didn't have that many, just a few chickens and a rooster, then I at least this poor rooster and his wife didn't die for nothing. At least we should stay together because she did something awful, terrible. And oh my god, after this I noticed my manifest twin was getting worse and worse, and he's really bad now. He's really in a bad shape now. Even yesterday he told me in the middle of our conversation, he said, I oh my god, I don't know, my head is spinning, I can't talk anymore, I'm not feeling well, something is wrong with my head. And he didn't have to tell me that, because the way he behaves, the things that suddenly he will do or say that come out of nowhere, very stressful and very hurtful, and I don't know. So it's just made me realize that these people are doing very bad things, usually mothers and stuff. And oh yeah, what I wanted to say is that once they do that, I forgot to tell you this. My manifested twin is such a great guy, such religious man. The reason why universe put us together, Allah God, is because he is everything that my twin flame was going to be, that was growing to be. But as I said, my organic twin was put on a he was sidetracked. He was put away by separation spell, some kind of ritual they did. I was right there, I saw them do it, I mean, as I said, in the mosque. But this manifested twin was everything. He loves me for my spirituality, he loves me for wearing my scarf, he loves that, because my organic twin nowadays, maybe if he would come back to me, he would want me to wear mini skirts like his other karmics, or go do things that I don't want to do anymore, that maybe I've done in the past before I was spiritual, but I'm not interested in those things anymore. And this young man, my manifested twin, wanted to support my spirituality and my closeness to God and everything, as he is praying as me 5 times a day. And after this spell was done, and after the chickens were killed, he actually befriended a woman on Facebook that is corruptive. I can't explain to you how bad she is, and she's even from the country that he absolutely, these people used to kill these people, and they're like, he can't stand these people, but he befriend. And then she sent me a messenger request, and she upset me so much, and we had a huge fight over it. I can't believe that he would put a half naked woman as his friend and God knows what, and maybe talking to her and chatting with her, and it has caused such a gap between me and him. It's terrible. And I tell you, what I want to say is that after they put separation spell between you and your twin, they want it to work on you, but it doesn't work on you. It works on their sons or their brothers, whatever your twin is, how they're related to them. And then they become, all the love they have for you, even attraction and everything, turns into darkness, and they go, and then the karmic shows up, karmic manifests. So that's why I said the karmic is a byproduct of the spell, of the separation spell that someone else did on your twin, not the karmic. So the karmic looks like she's the witch. Well, she comes from the dark side. She's invoked. She's someone attracted to them because she's the bad girl, you know, but she didn't do the witchcraft. Someone else did. Now, before I finish, I want to tell you from the Quran where the witchcraft is mentioned. And then I will post videos and links below on how you can fight it, because we have to fight it, and you have to fight it with the light, and you can actually destroy the, and I'm doing that tonight. I'm destroying the magic spell put on me and my twin. I've never done it before in my life, but I'm going to put the link below so you can do it as well, if you know for sure 100% that it is being done to you and your twin. If you have evidence, you have to have evidence, like police, you know, you really have to have ironclad evidence. And pray for me that my spell will be, not spell, I mean breaking of the spell, I'm sorry, God forgive me, the breaking of the spell will be successful. So I'm going to read to you from the Quran where the witchcraft is mentioned, and you can take some wisdom from that. The first one I'm going to mention is about Moses, Prophet Moses, and Pharaoh. Pharaoh was surrounded by magicians, by witches, and what do you call these male witches? I forgot. Oh God, my brain is. Oh yes, I forgot to say that I had terrible pains. I experienced terrible pains. I didn't know the chickens were dead. He told me, he was afraid to tell me. He was afraid I was going to cry. I was going to be super sad. So he told me a few days later, because I told him, oh my God, I have these shooting pains and in specific parts of my body. That was my symptom, but it didn't hit me in the head. It got him to the head. So anyways, it said here that Moses was surrounded by magicians because the Pharaoh was saying that he was some kind of a magician too or whatever, and so he brought all of his best magicians, and it says here, it's the chapter 20 of the Quran, chapter 20 verse 63. They said, certainly they are both magicians who want to drive you out of your land by their magic and destroy your best traditions. This means they were talking about Moses and his brother, that they were accused of. That's what I told you guys. These mothers, they think you're the magician. They think you did the black magic. So they're doing something to push you away from their son or brother, you know, or relative. Anyways, let's go back to the Quran. So chapter 20, verse 64. Therefore, decide upon your plan and then come forward in ranks. Whoever gains the upper hand today shall surely triumph. So this is Pharaoh talking to his magicians to come and fight Moses. 65. They said, Moses, will you throw down first, or shall we be the first to throw down? Moses said, you throw down first. Suddenly their ropes and staffs appeared to him by their magic to be moving about rapidly as snakes. And in his heart Moses became apprehensive. But we said, which means God told Moses, do not be afraid. It is you who shall prevail. Throw down that staff which is in your right hand. It shall swallow up what they have created. For what they have created is only a magician's trick. A magician shall never thrive, come whence he may. The magicians then prostrated themselves, and they said, we believe now in the Lord of Aaron and Moses. And this shows that Moses won over the magicians, but he told them throw first, which means if these people, if these twin flame mothers or sisters or whoever entities made a spell on you, let them. I mean, it's okay. They did it first. You thank God you never were involved in witchcraft, and they did it to you. But you have to fight it. You have to destroy their spell. You have to be like Moses, and you can do that only with the God's help, because Moses had overpowering help. Just they used the same staff that he used to separate the sea, and it worked. And these magicians realized that his God is more powerful. The God, the creator of the universe, is more powerful than any of their witchcraft and scary, black magic. And then I want to show you that one specific verse in the Quran that actually talks about separation spell between woman and a man, and it's on the page 11 in my Quran. I mean, in this print that I have, it's chapter 2 and verse 102, and it says, they pursued what the devils falsely attributed to the kingdom of Solomon. Solomon was not the unbeliever. It is the devils who are unbelievers. They taught people witchcraft and that which was sent down to Harut and Marut, the two angels in Babylon. But these two angels taught no one until they had said, we are but a trial, therefore do not disbelieve in God's guidance. So men learned from them that by which they caused separation between man and his woman, but they harmed no one thereby except by the command of God. On the contrary, these people learned that which would harm them and do them no good, knowing fully well that whoever acquired this knowledge would have no share in the hereafter. Evil indeed was the price for which they sold their souls, if only they had known it. And had they but believed and been mindful of God, his reward would have been far better for them if they had but known it. So this says these evil separators, should I call them that, who think they're doing favors to their sons, to our twins, by pushing them away from us. Where they push them is the darkness. They push them to darkness. They push them to someone who we see later as their karmic, who is usually dark person, because if they were in dark, they wouldn't be on that dark side. They wouldn't find them there. So we have to help our twin return to the light. We have to know that our twin is a victim, and so are we. But we are the strong one, we are a vacant one, so we can pull our twin out of the darkness. No one else can, by the will of God, of course. And so last but not the least, I want to read to you the chapter 113 in the Quran, which is called Al-Falaq. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak from the evil of what they create, from the evil of darkness as it descends, from the evil of those who blow on the knots, and from the evil of the envier when he envies. It says here, from the evil of those who blow on the knots. And if you do any research, which you should not do much, but just a little bit to know what these people are capable of, they sometimes blow into things in black magic spells and then throw. And so there's ways to fight them, and I'm going to include some important links below. And also, I cannot wait to share with you video of amazing twins that have united. Please watch in below in description video about them. They're amazing. They're just gonna give you so much motivation, and they're you know, this just light coming from them gives me goosebumps. It's gonna encourage you not to give up on your twin. And I mean, just their story, just give them a chance to listen to them, because they're gonna describe those symptoms of twin flames that we've all been through. So it's very important right now that we know we're not crazy, that we know that we don't give up, you know, because it's so hard sometimes. It's really so hard. I mean, I even didn't tell you half of what has happened to me lately, and my manifested twin and my organic twin, his mother is back in the Moz, and she's completely sorry. She cannot bring her a son back. That's the problem. She has she has realized what she has done, my organic twin's mother. But right now I have to help my manifested twin to help him to remove this magic spell from him. And as I said, pray that this is going to be successful, and I will give you the results in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you, my beloved twin flames, and may you reunite soon, and may the light prevail over the darkness. God bless you. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.